All right, we are live once again, and as you can see, our friend Hillary showed up today. She did survive the camping trip that she will be talking about in a moment. I
I
was going to
did.
tell her, but we were rambling about other stuff before we get on here to upload the video that she sent me of the gigantic grizzly bear that she was way too close to. Um, but in the meantime, ask your questions, and then when she's done telling us all her bear stories, we can get into your questions. So with that, I will hand it over to
Pass
Hillary.
the torch.
Yes.
Yeah, so we did go to camp in Many Glacier just on Friday night, so it was pretty quick. It has been really, really rainy here. And so, okay, like torrential downpours. Will keeps changing it, so it's just me, and it's annoying. Um, but we had a great time anyway. Many Glacier right now is the place to go if you want to see wildlife. I mean, every time you go to the east side of the park, we see bears, but I think just because it's spring, so they're still staying in the lower elevations. There's still a ton of snow in the mountains that might have something to do with it. But we saw so many bears. We saw black bears. We saw a black bear with the smallest cub I've ever seen. It was so cute. And then we saw two grizzlies. I'm not sure if it was the same one or not, but I did get really, really good videos, and it looks like I'm super close, but I just zoomed in a lot and I wasn't actually that close. So um, there's no need to think that I'm completely crazy. What else do we see? We saw moose. We were actually wondering, I know we talked about this last week, but the bear that got the baby moose, that happened right in front of the Many Glacier Hotel. And so we saw two moose, and I couldn't tell how old they were. It looked like there was a baby, but I'm not sure. But we were wondering if the grizzly we saw, because they're pretty territorial, was probably the same one, and then the moose that we saw was right like in front of the hotel. So I don't know. It was really fun though. We didn't get to do any major hikes that we were hoping to do just because it was so rainy. We didn't want to get stuck in a downpour, and there are some little streams, and there's a river that you have to cross for some of the hikes, and they were just rising so quickly. We were going to start doing a hike, and the guy coming down said that he took off his shoes and just waited and like ate cold deep water to cross on his way up, and then when he came down it was above his knees. And so I didn't like the sound of that, so we just kind of took it easy and nobody got eaten, and we saw a lot of bears, and that makes it worth it for me. So yeah, it was really fun, successful. And I'll send Will. I took videos and pictures in the correct format this time, so Will can't yell at me. So we'll upload all of those so you guys can see them. But it is just unbelievably beautiful out there, and it was really fun.
I thought, yeah, I was going to ask you. That's one thing I didn't ask you before we started. Were you able to go up and so that bear, I don't know if did that happen before our last live or not? That moose and the bear run in.
Yeah, we talked about it for a minute, and I said it hurt my soul.
Oh, that's right. So, um, did you, was that window or door or whatever that the bear broke, was it still broken?
I don't think it was. We tried to look around for a broken window, and we didn't see one.
Oh,
Um,
but you saw a moose and a baby,
mm-hmm.
and they were out in front of the.
Yep.
Did you walk up to that area I told you about where the horses go above the hotel there in front?
I think we did try to. We didn't spend that much time at the hotel. We stopped there on our way into our campsite, and it was so windy. It was like hats were flying off, just stuff was flying everywhere. And so we didn't spend a ton of time up there. We did a little bit. I think I was where you told me to go, but Will was telling me to try to get some footage for our next video. And it was like so windy. There's no way that you would have been able to hear anything. So I did take some footage that I'll have to send you. And like I said, we'll upload it for you guys. But for the most part, we were just in our little campsite area, and then we did a couple short hikes.
And you, the bear, I wish she could show you, but the bear that she was talking about, that she sent me the video of, I mean, it looked
It was
like
a
they were
big
in a,
Grizz.
yeah, and it was, but you were in your car on that one, right? On the road?
Yeah, so we were up on the road looking down. And so, yeah, I mean, we were far away, but I don't know. Will and I were talking about this. It's so scary because they just kind of ignore you, but every once in a while they'll look up, and it's like you just think if they just got annoyed and decided to sprint for you, like they would have definitely gotten one of us. So you feel far away, but I don't know. You can never be far enough, I guess.
Yeah, those things can move. They can run like 35 miles an hour. And I ran into one a few years ago on a hike, and luckily it took off the other direction. But yeah, that thing was going so fast that it made you realize that if they wanted to get you, they're going to get you.
Yeah. It was
So,
really cool, though. It was the most bear sightings that I've ever had in just a single outing. And I think that one with the video I sent you was my like the best sighting I've had. It was just usually you see them and they're kind of in the trees or they're moving along and then they, turn and you can't see them anymore. This one was walking right along the shore of a lake. And so we were just like looking down at it and there was nowhere for it to hide really. So it's just an extended look and I loved every second of it.
speaking of that, so we go up to Many Glacier. We used to do it before Rona, uh, every 4th of July weekend just to get out of here because it's so crazy around here. Um, and we stay at the lodge there at the hotel. But we didn't go the last couple years because of Rona, but I remember the last few times we did go, that road was a mess construction wise. Are they all done with that? Like from Bab up to the hotel?
We took from Bab up to the hotel. No, there's no construction. And the road
Oh,
was actually pretty decent. It was fine.
well, good.
We
Should
also
be because
spent
they
some
had the
time in
whole
Bab.
thing.
That was fun. What?
I said it should be because that road was the whole road was torn up, so they must have redid the entire thing.
Yeah, not
And
bad
you
at all.
spent
No,
time in Bab?
we did. We went and got some pizza and then we went to Kip's Beer Garden, which was quite fun. Yeah.
So the Bab bar, right on the corner there.
Hmm.
So when Angie was a kid, her dad was a ranger on the east side of the park, and the Bab bar was pretty rough, like one of the worst places in Montana. And
Really?
so Angie went in there as a kid, and um, so yeah, that she has some good stories about that she'll have to tell you sometime.
We'll have to bring her on as a special guest.
I got her on last week's video for a brief moment. That was a big thing.
That is nice.
All right. Well, I guess that's all you have. Let's start going through the questions.
I will start putting them up. Michael asks, who do you recommend for mortgages and or land loans for pre-quals?
We work with I've done a couple videos with her. Her name is Natalie Lenderman, ironically enough, and she works for Bay Equity. And the only thing about her is she does not do uh, bare land loans. So that we tell people to go to Glacier Bank for that. But if you want information and contact info, let me put the right one up here. You can email us down there, and we can send you the information on that.
Indeed. Dwayne, greetings from Alberta. Hello. He asks, how safe is it in Montana for other wildlife encounters?
Well, I too have a video that I live right in the middle of town, and yesterday morning I was sitting at our counter um, eating breakfast, and I look out the window and there was a bear in our yard, and so I stood at the kitchen window and got a video of a little baby black bear that was in our yard. So that was cool. So yeah, I mean, safe. I don't know. It depends what you run into. Um, but yeah, you can definitely run into pretty much anything out here. So you need to be wary, I guess would be my answer. Or you can
Yeah.
be like Hillary and purposely go where the grizzlies are and try and get yourself attacked.
Uh, is there plenty of sunlight throughout the year, or is the sunlight similar to how it is in Washington State, where sunlight is only half the year? I would say that it's probably more similar to Washington. We get a lot of cloud coverage, especially in the winter, and that is kind of why um, we don't get the super cold temperatures here. But it is, I don't know. I mean, I don't think of this as being a gloomy place, but it definitely is overcast quite a bit of the time. We're not like Colorado where it's sunny all the time.
Once we get to the end of June, it turns into the desert and we have perfect blue skies and sunshine until almost Halloween. So it just shuts off. The rain just quits. It's weird.
Yeah.
Um, but, and I don't know if you mean sunlight is in daylight, and we're on the where we are in Montana, we're on the very western edge of the mountain time zone. So this time of year, it stays light until almost 11 o'clock at night.
I
So,
was just going to say, we had people visiting us a few years ago on the 4th of July weekend. And I remember sitting outside and we grilled and we finally started eating. And I looked at my watch and it was like 10:45 p.m. And it was like, what? I just didn't even realize how late it was because, we were having a good time, but it stays light really late.
yeah.
Cliff wants to know how accessible is our bear spray while out hiking, and it is right on our little pant loop, so it's just easy access if we need it. A lot of people put it like in their backpacks, and that kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, I have it like on my side, ready to go.
But there's, the whether you have a bear spray or a big gun, like we were saying earlier, if you happen upon one and they come at you, you will have no time other than to drop to the ground and, play
Cry.
dead.
Yeah.
But again, Hillary being from Nebraska and her long history of dealing with grizzly bears has no fear.
I'm more scared of moose. I don't know what it is. I am scared of bears, but I just like them so much that my excitement takes over. Are there many people that you know of that grow their own food there?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say definitely. I think that's been a common question lately. I feel like a lot of people wanting to homestead and grow their own food.
The only thing you got to think about with that, growing your own food, especially around here, is you definitely need some tall fences for a different animal. The deer, they just destroy everything if it's not fenced, and so
Every
um,
single thing. It doesn't matter if you're told that it's deer proof. Um, it's not, and they'll eat it. But yes, that is something that people do here for sure. It's rained in Red Lodge 6 days a week for the last 2 weeks and snowed 2 feet on Memorial Day. Oh my gosh. It has, I don't remember a spring. I know that springs here are kind of cold and rainy. I don't remember it being this cold and rainy this late into June. And when we were driving back from the park, I mean, it was pouring down rain. There were people pulling over, like we couldn't see. The rivers looked scary. They were so high. So yeah, it's been weirdly rainy. I think they also got a lot of snow like up in the mountains in the park over the weekend also. Will, I don't know, you might know the answer to this, but Elizabeth wants to know, what are the benefits of the Homestead Act?
Yeah, and I was just kind of checking on something. I'm not sure what she's getting at here. I mean, the Homestead Act of 1862 or what they've changed now as far as homestead and what's going on. So I'm not sure what she's looking for there. So
Let
there
us
you
know,
go.
Elizabeth. Dwayne has seen coyotes. I've never seen a coyote.
Really?
No, I really don't think I have.
Huh.
I've heard them.
Well, all of my time in the desert, I've seen plenty.
Mm.
So
Carol is moving out here on Friday. What should she prepare for? That's super exciting. She followed that up with, is there a lot of rain? And right now there has been, but hopefully it stops soon.
yeah, I've been looking at the weather channel, and it's supposed to later this coming week kind of clear up a little bit, so we will see. But it's that time of year. Normally, the last couple of years, it hasn't been this bad as far as rain goes, and it's cleared up a lot earlier. But this is kind of normal that we get a ton of rain before 4th of July, and then, like I said, it just shuts off and it turns really nice. The other thing that I don't know if you saw it, Hillary, but on Facebook, a few people have posted that the rivers right now are super, super high. Like all the boat landings, like where we always put our raft in over at West Glacier, you drive down the ramp and out onto the rocks, and you're probably 30 yards, past where the ramp goes out. But right now the water's like all the way up into the parking lot at that particular boat landing. And then like where all those people were getting stuck at Blankenship and whatever, I mean, that's all underwater right now. So
Yeah, it looked like alarming when we were
yeah.
driving. I was wondering if we were going to have like a major flood problem, and it was fine, but yeah, it was crazy.
Well, all this rain is melting the snow quicker than normal, and it's
Yeah.
still snowing way up high, and so there's a lot of water to come down the mountains still to this day. So yeah, if you're coming out here to go rafting, Angie and I were talking about this morning. The people, someone drowns here every year this time of year. That they'll go rafting and think, oh, no problem, but those rivers are scary right now, and if you don't know what you're doing, you should probably refrain from going rafting, because a lot of almost every year somebody drowns out here, and sometimes it's people with a lot of experience too. So if you are planning on doing that, be careful.
Yeah. Ooh, HJ, is the search function on your website working?
Yes, Hillary, please tell us about our website.
Our website has a lot of issues right now. We're working to redo it. I know that it's not user friendly. I don't think that someone just called and said they couldn't for the life of them find an email address to reach out to us. And so the search function, it very well may not be working, but we are working on that behind the scenes, trying to get a new one. So I apologize if you're having issues with it or trying to look at it. If there's something that you're looking for specifically, I think just reach out to us. We can get you set up with an MLS link if you're trying to search for a specific property or something. But yeah, we're trying to get that fixed as quickly as we can.
Yeah, what I was going to say, you just said it. If you're just looking to search, we'll send you a link right to our MLS, and you can search everything we can search.
Yes.
we're getting a bunch of questions, which is good.
Carol is staying in Deer Lodge.
That is probably 3 hours from here.
I know, I was just going to look it up because I don't know exactly how far, but I think you're probably right.
Well, in all my trips south this winter, I go through Deer Lodge on the way, and so yeah, that's about 3 hours from where we are. But it's a nice area down there.
My thing just. When do you think the market will pick up, Will?
Pick up as in how? I mean, most people are excited that more things are coming on the market, and the prices are starting to. We're actually seeing price reductions, which we haven't seen in a couple years.
Yeah.
So if you mean that, as far as picking up, then it's already started. If you mean, getting busy, I don't know. We're still seeing there's still a lot of buyers out there and a lot of people that have been waiting around for the last couple years because of the craziness. So, now's a good time if you have been waiting, except obviously the interest rates aren't helping anything. But if you think about it, the interest rates aren't much worse than they were back in 2018 right now. So, it's not horrible, and prices are coming down. So it's not a horrible time.
I live in Ohio, but I'm looking for a house to buy, preferably in a rural area, anywhere in Montana. Is there a better place than others if I bought a house and wanted to rent it when I'm not there?
Well, if you want to rent it short term, you just need to check into the different rules in the different towns. I mean, the bigger market where you're going to probably have more luck renting it quicker and faster is if you're around the resort areas like here in Whitefish, or down near Big Sky, or any of the ski resorts, or even near some of the bigger towns for people that are looking to commute for work. If you buy something way out on the east side of Montana, there's probably not as much demand out there because there's not as many jobs out there. So that's what I would look into. And if you haven't been out here before, I would suggest coming on out and checking it out. And that's my 2 cents.
I'll take it. Carol what?
Didn't we argue about this same sort of question last time?
Rattlesnakes?
Yes.
Should I worry about rattlesnakes under my pop-up trying to find shade? I don't know. I would say the answer is no.
Depends where you go. We were debating whether there are even rattlesnakes on the west side of Montana, and it sounds like there are some prairie rattlers, I think we found out.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they're not, if you're up in our northwest part, no, you're not gonna, there's no rattlesnakes up here. I've never heard of any, I've never seen any. So that would be the last thing I would be worrying about. But that's just me.
I would have to agree. I would love to move to Flathead Valley, but it's been so expensive. Yes, it has. Although, like Will was just saying, we have seen a lot of recent price reductions on homes that are being sold, and we haven't seen that for the last 2 years. So hopefully that's a good sign that things are leveling out a little bit.
Yeah.
Elizabeth says, "Isn't there a homestead homeowner exemption? Do you know amount exactly is tax exempt?" I do not know.
No, I'd call your tax guy. That's above my pay grade.
Deep
Sorry.
fried cherry pie says, "Miss you guys. I would donate, but since it takes 3 months' salary to fill up my gas tank, times are tough."
Yeah,
We
well,
miss
thank you
you.
for all of your past. Yeah, you don't need to do that. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, save your money. You're gonna need it. We need to. Yeah, gas is crazy right now. Hopefully that changes soon.
Yeah, no kidding. Chef Greg, thank you for watching.
Uh,
We traded sides on the screen. What's up with that? I'm confused.
I'm not sure what happened
I
there.
don't
We
know.
can just do this and make it better.
It's not. When's the last time Bigfoot was spotted?
I don't know why I get comments on that all the time on the YouTube videos. And I don't know about you, Hillary, but I have yet to see Bigfoot.
I haven't seen him. I want to.
Apparently, a lot of people think he lives around here. Um, but yeah, if we see one when we're out doing videos, we'll be sure to post it.
Excuse me. David Barker, pleased to be visiting Glacier Whitefish for a third time, although after Labor Day through mid-September. Yay, that sounds so fun. Glacier's the best. So is Whitefish. Thank you for watching the videos. Oh, this is a good question that I don't know the answer to. Joseph asks, what kind of flights go in and out of the Polson Airport? Any major airlines?
No, that's a small little. That's like the cat. Just so you know, Hillary, it's like the airport in the south side of Kalispell. You can get smaller, I guess passenger planes in there, but no airlines. You can't buy a ticket out of Polson. It's all small planes. People from Missoula that have a plane will fly up there on the weekends, and but yeah, no, the biggest airport would be up in Kalispell, Glacier Park Airport, or in Missoula. It's kind of right in the middle of the two. So that is what happens in Polson at the Polson Airport.
So there you go.
There you go.
Ron Slay, what are the benefits for disabled veterans in Montana? Is there a tax exemption?
I do know that because I've sold a couple houses where the owner was a veteran. So the property taxes come way down. I don't know the percentage. I don't know, I can't say, oh, you get 50%, 75%. I don't know. But I've sold houses where I pulled up the listing and saw the taxes and I was like, oh, that's got to be wrong. And then I call the agent and it's because the guy was a veteran. So yes, you do get a break on property taxes. I just don't know what it is, but it's a good one. So, and that's a good thing. So there you go.
Is there any Forest Service land for lease that you can build on?
I don't believe so. I've never
I
heard
don't
of that. I
either.
don't think you can do anything on Forest Service land. So
Ooh, Chef Greg is coming through with the good recommendations. Visit the Polbridge Bakery. Will and I just did that together. It was a wonderful experience.
yes, they kind of have a monopoly up there. I did a video a couple weeks ago if you guys want to go back and watch it on Polbridge. But yeah, the little bakery up there is awesome, and they make these things. They're called Huckleberry Bear Claws, and the price of them is like you're buying a bar of gold, but they're very good. And they have really good like caramel rolls and cookies and I introduced Hillary. They also make these pocket sandwiches that are also quite tasty. So yeah, so if you're going up there, save some money for treats because it's really good. It's expensive, but
Oh, good.
it's good. And just the whole atmosphere, all of it is good. So there you go.
Caroline is just letting us know what's going on with Bigfoot. He is in the Sapphire Mountains. Look up World Bigfoot Radio on YouTube. He's near the Missoula area.
Well, there we go. Well,
I will absolutely look that up.
maybe next week we'll send Hillary down to the woods down there to search for Bigfoot, and
There we go.
she can interview him for our next live.
I would really do that. I'm a documentary filmmaker. What are tax breaks for film? I just Googled this for you, so I don't really know if this is accurate, but it says to film in Montana, the credit takes 20%.
I don't know. I mean,
But
yeah, I know
that's just
that
what I read on Google.
I know the reason that Yellowstone is now totally filmed in Montana is because they gave them a huge tax break. And so they're no longer working in Utah, who didn't want to give them a tax break. And so I don't know about, documentary films, but it sounds like there is some sort of break. But yeah, again, that's not so information we have at the tip of our tongue.
Will, what do you think of Helena?
I like Helena. It's kind of the forgotten town in all of this craziness. I mean, I know they've been growing too, but it's kind of cool over there. They have the gates of the mountains, and obviously the capital is there. And it used to be a big mining town, and so there's all kinds of little tours you can do of mines and good hiking around there. And have you ever been there, Hillary?
I have. I was just gonna say I haven't spent a lot of time there though.
Yeah, I haven't really either. I went over there and did a video. I've done a couple videos over there. I have a friend that he's actually a filmmaker himself, and I went and interviewed him. He's doing a documentary on all of the different breweries in Montana. There's like 90, or I don't know. I'd have to go back to my video.
It does seem like there's a lot though.
Yeah, there are a lot of breweries, and he's big into craft beer, and so he's trying to do a video on or a documentary on all the different breweries, because they grow a lot of hops here and barley, and over on the east side of the state, a lot of the barley is grown. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it when he finishes. But yeah, there are tons of breweries here in Montana if you're into craft beer.
Felix asks, do the counties in Montana handle the brush growth around private properties, or is that left to the owner? I'm talking about the growth beyond the property lines in building developments.
What they do is you are responsible. I know from a noxious weeds standpoint, you are required, if you own the land, to take care of that and spray them and keep it mowed down, whatever. But beyond the property lines, that's whoever owns the land around it. They're not going to make, somebody who's next door take care of the weeds. It'll be the owner. But like, the listing we have right now in Glacier Hills, I was talking to the gal that owns it, and she just set up the guy to go spray this year for her on her property for noxious weeds, because they will come after you if you let them get out of hand. So hopefully that answers your question.
Mitchell asks, why is housing so cheap in Butte compared to the other Bozeman surrounding areas?
Well, well, Butte is Butte. Well, first of all, Butte isn't, it's quite a ways from Bozeman. So it never got caught up in the whole when Bozeman has blown up in the past couple of years. But Butte's an interesting town. It's an old mining town. It used to be the richest town in Montana when the mines were going crazy there in the early 1900s. But right now it's kind of a little bit, it's older, and I don't want to say run down, but it's very historical, and there is a large toxic pond in the middle of town, from the mining, from the what am I trying to say? Not tailings, but the uh
I don't know.
I'm drawing a blank here. Yeah, the toxic waste that was created when they were doing all the mining. So that's probably hasn't helped with Butte and the land prices, but even Butte has gone up in price. But yeah, it's going to be nothing like Bozeman. There's no ski resort that I know of right there. Butte's just kind of always has been kind of a blue collar town. And yeah, somebody just quoted down below the Berkeley pit. I couldn't think of the name of it. So yeah, I've read that the Berkeley pit in Butte is rising. It could potentially be a risk to people nearby with its toxic water. What is my opinion? I don't really have an opinion. It is what it is. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about the history of that and why it hasn't been drained, cleaned out. I guess I don't know what they would do with it. But I have heard that, because what was happening, I heard, and again, this is what I heard, but that birds would come land in there, geese and waterfowl, and then they would go die. That's how toxic the water is. So they started shooting these cannons over it to keep the, birds from landing there, because, they're trying to protect the birds. But apparently it's a pretty nasty little pool of water, not somewhere you'd really want to go swimming. So
yeah, I have only driven. I don't think I've ever actually been in Butte. I've driven by it. I might have driven through it. But I think we've talked about it on the lives also. I just hear about the St. Patrick's Day, such a big deal there. So I want to go experience that. And I also love all of the there are just so many cool historic houses there, brick houses. I feel like as someone who grew up in the Midwest, like I saw brick houses all the time. I don't think I've seen a single brick house in the state of Montana except for in Butte. So it's kind of cool.
With your, I don't know if you would enjoy St. Patrick's Day in Butte.
I would like to people watch.
Well, you definitely get a lot of that.
Someone just asked, which is better, Montana or New Hampshire?
Well, considering I've never been to New Hampshire, I'll vote for Montana.
I actually have been to New Hampshire. My brother went to school there. But yeah, I mean, I'm saying Montana, obviously.
Was there what's it like? Is that still part of the Appalachian Mountains up there, or is it pretty flat?
No, there's mountains. He was on like the ski team. I visited him like once or twice, so I don't know enough about it, but.
There's another question from Joseph. What is your opinion of Anaconda? We don't talk about it much. Well, Anaconda is kind of the sister city of Butte. In fact, when they were mining, and again, I am not an expert. This is just what I've sort of read and heard my wife,
You're not a mining expert?
No.
Okay.
But when they were mining in Butte, they took when they mined the copper, they took it over to Anaconda to process it or something. And so there's all this, the golf course in Anaconda is built on top of, again, more toxic, it's like where they dumped all the tailings from the copper mining and from processing it. And so they built a golf course over there. On top of it, and there's all this black sand, and they used it in the sand traps in the golf course. It's kind of cool. But yeah, Anaconda was kind of where they, brought everything from Butte back in the day. And like I said, back in, I don't know, like 1910, I think, or maybe it was a little earlier than that. Butte was like the richest town in America. Um, the Copper Kings, they call them, all the owners of these mines they were like the, Elon Musks of today. They were all living in Butte. And then it all went downhill, and now Butte is got a giant toxic lake in the middle of it. So that's what I know about Anaconda. I've been there once. I played the golf course, and that's it.
Thank you for that.
So, wouldn't you like to chime in?
I don't know. Mitchell asks, what area would you recommend looking within an area of Bozeman if I was looking to purchase in the very near future?
Within the area of Bozeman. I don't know. That's a pretty big area. If you go down, the closer you get on to Big Sky, or the closer you get to Yellowstone, the more expensive it gets. I mean, Bozeman, the average price of a house in Bozeman right now is $700,000. So, yeah, it's not cheap anywhere around there. And then you get further east and you hit the Paradise Valley, and that is not cheap. So there you go. So I don't know. I guess that doesn't really answer your question. Raymond, go ahead.
Aloha. Aloha. I live in Oahu, Hawaii, and prices for new homes as well as homes over 60 years old are over $1 million. What's the price range of property in Montana?
You didn't finish. What does the last part say?
I know mahalo. I don't know that. The price range, I mean, we say this every week, but it is true. It does depend on where you're looking in Montana. Everything does seem to be a little bit more expensive right now, no matter where you're looking, but there are definitely pockets where it's worse. Like Will was just saying, in Bozeman, prices are going to be really high. Where we are in Whitefish, prices are high. I don't know if do you have like a range, Will? I would say that I've had people reach out looking for homes in like the $300,000 to $500,000 range, and it seems like those have been very hard to come by.
Yeah, the lower end, or the cheaper. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, it's lower end. They're not. It like doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, the last 2 years, people have bought all that stuff up. There's plenty of stuff that's under $1 million. It just depends, Raymond. And if you want, send us an email at that, and we'll send you a link down below. And our MLS covers all of Western Montana, so you can look around and see. You can see what we can see. That's the beauty of it. And I'm going to put this up now, while we're talking about it. Is there a better place to look for property than Zillow? Yes. Let us send you a link. The reason our link is better is because it's updated in real time, and it is, the minute something comes on the market, it shows up on there, and the minute it goes off the market, it goes away. Problem with Zillow is we get, calls on stuff that's been sold for 3 weeks and it's still on Zillow. So that is a better place to look at. Now back to the Hillary show.
Oh, this is the best question I've ever seen. Did you get your dachshund from a breeder? If so, are they local? I did not. He is a rescue. It's a long story. My brother got him for free off of like Craigslist in Utah, and then I flew to Utah to pick him up, and now I have him. And I know I brought this up before, there are a lot of dachshund owners here. They have dachshund races in Lakeside.
You saying dachshund, that's not
Dachshund. That's a wiener dog.
a dachshund?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, I believe you.
So I'm sure there are breeders here, but I don't know. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure I'll find them eventually. So if you want me to help you figure out where to get the dachshund, just send us an email because I will absolutely do that. Michael, have you created a list of restaurants, hotels, places to see, etc., for visitors that gives the Will Hillary stamp of approval? I like that. We haven't, and I think that the Whitefish Chamber of Commerce is like right across the street from our office downtown. And so I think our thought process has always been, why reinvent the wheel? It's kind of a good spot to send people where it's been put together professionally and it gives you a lot of information. But I think we should do this, honestly. I actually don't know how helpful it'll be because on the list of restaurants, we'll like include the town pump because that's where the majority of our lunch is together. But no,
Hillary's a huge fan. In fact, Hillary, we should do a video where Hillary, gives you the tour of her favorite gas station food places.
we have a beautiful selection in this state, let me tell you.
Oh my God. Yeah, Hillary is a piece of work. She walks into this gas station that you'd think she just walked into a Michelin restaurant in downtown Chicago. She gets so excited about their, the food counter. So anyway, I won't embarrass her too much,
Please. But that is a good idea. We should put that together.
yes,
Just like
because I'm guessing people are going to want to eat at better places than the gas station, but
yeah, we won't actually include that.
for
I have good taste, I promise. I could give you some good recs. Okay, moving on from this. Frosty, hello, our neighbor in Idaho. We talked about Zillow. Randy wants to know your take, Will, on the Red Lodge area.
I've only been there once, but it's pretty cool. It's close to Billings. There's a ski resort there. It's a smaller ski resort, but my wife and I'm not a skier, so I can't give you as good of an update on that one. But my wife skied there with our daughter, and she thought it was great. It's just smaller. It's not a huge resort, I guess. I actually sat in the main lodge, and that was pretty small, and had a beer or two while I was waiting for them to finish skiing. But yeah, the downtown Red Lodge is cool. It's kind of the Old West vibe, and like I said, it's maybe an hour from Billings. So you got the big town if you want it, or you've got the cool little town of Red Lodge. So that's my Red Lodge take. I haven't been down there yet to do a video because it's about 8 hours away from here, but next time I'm in that area, I will definitely do a video on it.
Yeah, I have not spent a lot of time there either. We've driven through it though, and I remember we both said like, "Oh my gosh, we need to come back here. It's really cool." Just like the downtown, like Will said, but that's all I know about it. I just drove through it and thought I wanted to go back.
There you go.
How popular is Ashley Lake with the amazing color the water is? I've been there twice and it's awesome.
Ashley Lake is awesome. And yeah, that color is unbelievable. It's like one of the most deep, I don't even know how to explain it, deep turquoise. It
Yeah.
almost looks tropical, and it's far from tropical. It's not as popular, and I think why is because you have to go, it's all gravel roads getting out there. And in the middle of summer, the gravel roads are usually in poor shape, so it's a lot of washboard and dust, and there's not a big beach there, so there's a lot of homes around it, and the houses sell pretty well out there. And again, you're right, it's beautiful. So if it were closer to town and on a paved road, that would probably be the place to go. The only thing keeping people out of there is the getting there. So there you go.
So there you go.
Um,
Um,
Christina's watching. Hey, Christina, if you guys don't watch Christina's channel, I've been on it a few times. She talks about the real estate market around the country, and she has a massive following, unlike us. That's another little reminder while we're talking about Christina. Any of you guys that haven't subscribed to our main channel, we'd appreciate if you would. We just went over 60,000 last week, and that's awesome. But Christina's like almost at 200,000, so she gets tons and tons of views, and she does a great show every Sunday. She does a live show like us. She comes on a little earlier, so you can watch both of them. So check that out if you have not.
there you go.
There you go. What do we have next?
Is there any place in the state where newcomers are more welcome than others?
I'm going to flee the country before the communists take over. I'll let Hillary does a good job of answering this. She's a newcomer herself.
Do I? I don't think so. I feel like we always give our same little spiel. I think that a lot of people get really nervous because people say mean things on like Facebook and the internet. I've never, I mean, even when I had just moved here, I feel like people are pretty welcoming. I've never seen anybody like be put in an uncomfortable position in person because they're new. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like it seems like it's way worse than it really is when you're online, and people feel really brave when they're online. But I think that it's generally welcoming. And we also say that most of the people moving here are moving here because they already like the lifestyle and they like Montana. They're not coming because they want to completely change it. So I don't know. It is what it is. But I don't think that there's a spot that's like, this is where you should go if you want to be with welcoming people.
I agree.
If someone bought forest land, is it cost effective to harvest the tree for lumber to build the home?
There's so much work into, creating the lumber, putting up sawmill, all of that. I mean, I don't know. I would doubt that, but if you're into, creating your own house and doing it yourself, then go for it. But yeah, I don't know if that would be cost effective. I mean, obviously you could do it, but yeah, if you're looking to do it for the best price, that's probably not what you want to do. I mean, you can sell the timber that you cut down, would probably be the better way to go. That you have to clear for where you're putting your house, but yeah, and to harvest it and make your own lumber, I don't know. I don't think that would be all that cost effective. And your thoughts, Hillary?
I'm going to agree with everything you just said. Caveman, do you guys think you will feel the effects of any drop in price for real estate anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely coming down. Not as rapidly as it went up. It'll just be a matter of, people still want to live here. People still want to get out of the big cities. This is a great place. So, I don't know. I don't know if this year will feel anything major. But we'll see. It's hard to say at this point. There's still such a demand that, we are seeing more and more listings come up, and the prices are kind of plateauing more so than dropping. They are coming down a little bit, but it's still, things aren't exactly cheap here yet.
I don't know what this article is, but Arnold said in regards to the article in the Wall Street Journal, how do you feel about Flathead County being mentioned about small town crime? Is it true?
I did not see that article either. And as far as crime goes around here, maybe they're talking about an increase in crime because of the increase in population, but it's not. I get a kick out of the people that are moving here from Chicago or Dallas and they ask about the crime, and I just kind of laugh, because they're comparing our crime to the bigger cities, and we're not that.
Yeah, I mean, there's crime everywhere, and I feel like this is as low crime as you can get where we are.
Recently, we covered Glacier entrance lottery. Is that the same for Yellowstone? No, and I was irritated in myself that I didn't mention that in the video. I should have said that as to make my point that there's only like 6 national parks in the country that have this ticket system, Glacier being now one of them. But yeah, you can show up in Yellowstone any day you want and get in. You have to pay the fee. But here at Glacier, you have to buy a ticket. And if you watched our video that we did last week, you will hear the dissenting opinion from my wife, who kind of likes that there's not as many people in the park because of these tickets. But I find it annoying that you can't just go on a nice day anymore. You have to have a ticket. So, but yes, Sadie, you do not need a ticket for Yellowstone or a reservation. I don't know if this was talking about the last question or not, so we'll miss that. How about this one? Long-time listener, first-time caller. Regarding vacant land, what is the definition between a lot and land? It impacts your down payment percentage and would like your insight. Well, I guess a lot, and I don't know what your lender has told you. Or your banker, but I would assume that a lot is something that's in a subdivision where they've already split it up into a bunch of lots, and land would be your bigger chunk, and I don't know if there's a definition of how many acres, it is, because there's subdivisions here that have 20-acre lots. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but that would be what I would think. I think you'd have to talk to your lender and see what their definition is, because lots are, I think, like I said, what you're thinking is lots are a subdivision full of 90 lots or whatever it may be. Hopefully that helps.
Are there more places like Sealy Lake where the houses are in the trees?
Yes. Pretty much all throughout the Swan Valley, their houses are in the trees. There's houses in the trees here. Unless you're in the middle of the valley here, your house is more than likely in the trees. So there you go. Are you doing this or am I?
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm slow. Any minor league baseball or hockey in Montana?
Yes, there is. In fact, they're just starting a new team, I believe, this year in Kalispell, a minor league baseball team. And then minor league hockey, they do have junior hockey here. It's pretty low level. I ref hockey, so I refed when Whitefish had a junior team. I was reffing those guys, but they're not, like the Western Hockey League up in Canada. It's not that big, and same with baseball. I think the baseball is affiliated with pro teams, but the junior hockey is not. It's very very low level, but it is good hockey. So I hope that answers that, unless you have anything to chime in, Hillary.
I don't. Caveman, this sounds cool. I don't think it's going to be clear for us, though.
Yes, it's not after July 5th, so we won't get to see it.
Yeah. Can you make it? Oh, sorry, guys. Dave asks, can you make it around all right with the 4-wheel drive instead of snow tires, non-studded, or are studs really necessary? I've never had studs. I get around just fine. I get snow tires, but they're not studded.
I, on the other hand, do studs because I feel safer. We get a lot of black ice, and I think the studs are the way to go for that. So it's just a matter of preference. We've always had studs on our cars in the winter, and it's just peace of mind, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Are you free to go out in the wood and shoot targets out in the woods?
Yeah, as long as it's not private property.
Yeah.
Yeah, people go out and shoot all the time. So
I am going to look this up.
yeah, I'm not sure. I saw that down below as well. I'm not sure. There's a I'm not sure what Cam Ranch in 93. Huh. I don't know. The the dump's right there. I'm not sure where he's talking.
Yeah, me neither. Gordon drove to Eureka via Sealy Lake last October and hit a deer. Fortunately, damage wasn't bad enough that I couldn't continue. Yeah, that is fortunate. I've yet to hit a deer, and I hope it stays that way.
Yeah, well, that Swan Highway if you came up from Sealy, there's more deer on that road than anywhere in Montana. I mean that road is brutal. You have to keep your eyes open over there for sure. So
R.I.P. deer. How are you? And
never use studs here in Alberta. Winters are worse. I would agree with you, but here's the difference. Your Alberta, you were a lot colder. So yes, it's worse in that respect. The reason our roads are so bad is because it's warmer here. And so it'll get up into the mid 30s during the day and things will kind of melt and the roads will get wet. And then it gets down into the teens at night and everything freezes up. So yeah, you probably don't need studs up in Alberta. And yes, your winters are worse, way colder. But the studs here, because we get so much black ice because of the melting and refreezing and all of that. So it looks like we are to the bottom and we are over an hour. So I think it's time to wrap it up.
all right.
As much as Hillary would like to answer more questions about Bigfoot, I think we will wrap up this one and we'll be back in 2 weeks. Oh, here we go. Montana Ridge. 155-acre development. Developer wants to build 268 homes on it. Flathead County neighbors say that's good. I'd have to look more into that before I comment. I don't know exactly what they have planned there and where exactly it is, but I know that we definitely need more housing here. So I don't want to shoot it down, and I don't want to, say good things. I don't know enough about that particular subdivision. Anyway, let's end it there, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks. Thanks for watching, and if you guys want the link to our MLS, again, it's been running the whole hour. Send us an email and we will get that over to you. And again, thanks for tuning in.
And I'll post my Grizz bid for you. It's
yes.
beautiful.
Yeah, so we'll see all you guys in a couple weeks.
Bye.